asking. I wanna scream for the G-O-P. I wanna sit with
TC and Jake.
You got to stand up on this phone thing, dude.
Talk to me.
You have a regular size phone.
Can you hear me?
I mean, I'm not. I don't have headphones on. We're in the same room,
Oh,
so
okay.
I can.
Yeah. No, your mic sounds low. Yeah, dude, it's a stop the size count. It's a totally normal phone.
It's exactly like a regular phone.
Thank you.
Like they made the models like a tiny fraction of an inch larger across the board, but you got the mini, you got the iPhone 12, and you got the iPhone 12 Max.
Right.
You got an iPhone 12.
Right.
And when I hear people on the radio saying, "Look at him and how's he? Your arms are big from holding up that phone."
People? It's just one person.
You got this fucking Hitler Youth knockoff giving you shit, and you're just taking it, bud. Where are you? Where's the Jake I know? Where's the guy that beat up Mike at Fight Night?
Well, okay. So, I mean, it's partly funny. Just the whole thing is funny.
Inaccuracies are never funny.
Yeah, they are. Of course.
Not to autists.
Jeez. Check yourself out of the game there a little bit quick. And the other thing that I think is, that I've heard some people say about it is like, they're like, how could you not know? And something I did that was, a little bit weird. It was the first time I've ever done it was I never went to the store.
Yeah.
Like I got online.
I had to go to the store this week, and I would recommend not going to the store.
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
It's a super stressful experience. It's never fun.
Takes a long time.
So I just got on the website.
You have to see people who live in South Lake. It's bad across the board.
Exactly. Like I don't think I would ever go computer, no tactile.
Oh, I do that most of the time. Just because I want to pick out.
No. What I'm saying is, I don't think I would buy a computer without going to the store.
Yeah, I'm saying every computer I bought for the last I don't think there was one time where I got it in the store because it was a new computer and the only way you could get it was by going to the store.
You waited in line. You guys had.
I did not wait in line.
Pizza ordered for you.
In fact, you know what I did? I ordered it online and I picked it up.
with Jamal Lewis.
No, I ordered it online and I picked it up at the store.
Okay.
You could go to the store to be like, hey, I had one. Yeah. So every computer I bought online.
Yeah, so I've never done that before. I've never done the no AT&T, no Apple. I just and here's the funniest part about this. It's really not that funny. My wife has been trolling me about my old ass phone for years.
I have to bite my tongue every time I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell, right? I can see you literally being like, that's an old phone.
He's very old.
It's a very old phone. So I was like, all right, well, we have a couple weeks off. I'm just going to take care of this right here. So I go to the AT&T website and it's like, all right, you're due for an upgrade. And it's like, it's $15 a month. And, to pull back the curtain on how our relationship works a little bit. I've been paying for her upgrade for half of that for 3 years. Right? Because we just get one AT&T bill and we're like, all right, it's 50-50. So I was like, all right, your turn now. Now I'm going to do an upgrade. So I did that and I never saw the phone. But as I told you the other day, they have a deal on the AT&T website. It's pretty much pushes you to an Apple link where you can literally drag and drop one phone onto
size
your
comparison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Onto your previous and then onto what the other options are. And I was like, this is just a normal looking phone to me. And so I did that.
That's because it is.
That's all I did.
The man is wrong. And you just ha ha ha, it's funny you're saying all that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Tell him he's wrong.
How do you think that's going to go? right? Like,
Well, see, the thing is that whenever you were literally doing his job, that's what you would get me. You'd be like, well, I'm the producer. I mean, the hosts are going to steamroll me. I mean, they have to, like that's fucking law of the jungle. Like it'd look bad on them if they didn't steamroll me. So I better not do it.
right.
Now you're them.
I'm not them.
Well, clearly.
Clearly. So I wanted to, while we're, clearing the air,
Okay. Yeah. What do you got?
I wanted to bring up one thing to you. And it's really not for you because we're sitting here right now doing this. It's really more for the audience. Which was, so it's 9:00 on a Friday night right now while we're recording this Patreon episode.
Me and my lawyers feel great about this. This is pretty straightforward,
That's
easy,
fine.
simple.
Well, let's throw it open to the jury of 1,200 people.
Gives me no
And I'm not even mad at you.
no concern whatsoever,
Dude.
nor should you be.
Well, I'm happy with the outcome because
And magnanimously on my part, I'm not mad either.
that's great. That's so good. We were going to do the show last night at 8:30, Thursday night, whenever you're listening to this. That was going to be Thursday night. And I had a 9:00 Mavs game, which, like, I do this a lot, but I don't love it, which is watching the Mavs the next morning. I don't love that.
Yeah, I don't like watching sports delayed.
Second viewing, let's go. But it's not all that fun to me to be like, all right, let's get up at 5 a.m. and, figure out what everyone else was doing at 9:30 last night. So I texted TC yesterday. I stayed up way too late Tuesday night watching dumbass politicians, quote, certify an election. I was up till like midnight,
That's
12:30.
too late.
12:45, 1 a.m. watching people be like,
even be 12:45.
boom, fuck you. That's the first fuck you we're gonna get.
Okay.
I was like, oh sheesh, this is so late. And then the next night was Mavs, so I was like, oh shit, like it's way too late. And I text TC on Thursday, and I'm like, hey man, it's like what 5:30.
Something like that,
5:45,
yeah.
like after I picked up Nora, and I was like, dude, I am tired. Like, I really don't want to have to do the podcast tonight and then, go home, catch up on the Mavs, try to go to bed, blah, blah, blah. One of us has a job.
I would say both of us have a job.
Okay.
As I had explained to my wife a short bit ago, this is work that produces money, thus qualifies under any definition of a job I could imagine.
It does. It does. You're quite right about that. So I was like, hey, yo, I don't want to go tonight. Can't do tonight. Can we do tomorrow at 9:30?
Yeah, so we had Thursday at 8:30. You said, what about Friday at 9:30? I said, no problem.
Yeah. So I did a roundtable with the Musers this morning at 8:15 and Bob.
That sounds nice.
Got done.
What are you
at,
guys talking about?
Mike Nolan, dude, huge news. So I got done at about.
What happened with Mike Nolan?
They fired him.
Oh, they did?
They did.
That's too bad.
Not at that time. It was a complete news dump, like 4:30.
Oh, so you didn't even get a chance to weigh in after the news is already.
No.
That seems,
Unfortunate. Yeah.
That's rough.
So
Well, they can't get Marcus Freeman for that job. I want them to know that.
So I live about 25 minutes from TC. So I got done with that.
But this
Talk
wasn't
your
at the
shit.
station. This wasn't at the station, though. Okay, I was just going to say, 25 minutes, but on the way from the station, but you're not at the station. Go ahead.
Not helping your case.
I don't think it helps or hurts. Seems like pretty neutral.
So I skipped the morning workout. I skipped the time with my daughter. I kissed her on the forehead, and I was like, I'd love to hang out with you for another half hour, but my friend TC needs me. He needs me.
Well, I didn't say that.
He needs me to be there at 9:30 today. So I got in my car and I drove to Dallas, which is where TC lives.
He drove to Dallas. All right.
A couple bathroom breaks along the way.
Cross any state lines?
Yeah. Had to dump my gun because of the changing laws as I was traversing this route. And I get to my friend TC's house at 9:20.
Prompt.
I'm early. I walk up and I knock on the door and I'm like, it's weird. He typically answers the door very quickly.
I'm surprised the dog wasn't even impressed by your arrival.
Nothing.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, he doesn't usually respond
Well,
lightly
at
to
least
such
it was
things.
a nice day. I could, it was not.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know how
Cold
it
as
was.
fuck. It was cold as fuck.
I couldn't tell you what the day looked like till probably about 11:15.
As I found out. So I go back to my car and I called TC. And I called TC again. Then I called TC again. And this time he answers. And he says, who? And I go, bro, I'm here. I go, it's
Why?
It's 9:35. And he says, why? Why? And I go, well, you know, we're doing the show. And he goes,
Yeah.
you said 9:30 tomorrow. I go, well, yeah, like the morning. And he goes, well, last night's was going to be at night. So why would today's not be at night?
I mean, I just think if you're changing the thing, then you got to specify that. I mean, I don't know. You know, regardless of what's said here, I know that you know in your heart that whenever you looked down at what you'd written and realized that you did not specify morning or evening, that you had a sinking feeling in the middle of your chest. We both know that's true.
Okay.
And I rest my case.
No, when I looked down at what I wrote, what I thought was, I forgot I was talking to TC.
Okay. Well,
And that's on me. That's on me.
I just said if like, you know,
That's on me.
If you're moving the time from
Yeah.
the normal preordained time,
Yeah.
and then getting specific about what time you moved it to, it seems, you know, reasonable enough. Like
AM or PM.
just not a recipe for success otherwise.
I totally agree that I forgot that I was talking to the person who fills the quota that only literally one person in my...
I mean, you know, whatever you're willing to stay up to 12:45 every once in a while, these are the kind of trade-offs you got to make.
I have zero room for another you in my life.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? And you know what? You can return the favor.
Yeah, you know, if you ever find space, I know plenty more. There's a lot of us.
They all went to Excel.
No, you know, just, you know, a lot of just fucking cool bros out in the world.
Chill bros.
Just being
Yeah, I mean,
cool and chill.
to me, if you're talking about something in the evening and you say, hey, can we reschedule this to tomorrow at 9:30? Like, literally everyone would know. That means 9:30 tomorrow morning.
We've done podcasts at 9:30 all the time.
We have never done a 9:30 Friday night podcast. This is the first time we've ever done this.
I mean, you know, that to me indicated just how tired you were last night.
We have done, I don't know, at least a handful of 9:30 Friday AMs.
Yeah,
Correct?
no, certainly. Yeah.
This is the first time
not
we've
in
ever...
quite a while.
No, not since, you know, video era, but excuse me. This is the first time we've ever done this ever.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, oh, okay. He wants me to come to his house at 9:30 on a Friday night. That's weird. But then I thought, that's because he doesn't know what day it is.
I do literally know what day it is, but it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's the thing. Like, you know, what big plans do I have? You know, I'm trying to not die,
The key
so I
thing
don't go
is,
to bars.
your main concern is what big plans do I have?
Well, what big plans could you possibly have? You're canceling vacations because you feel like you
That's
can't be out in public doing stuff.
Can I hit an interstitial?
This is more social than I would have imagined what the other alternative was.
Fair. Making interstitial noise. Okay, so something I was thinking about the other night, whenever I was laying in bed and didn't want to grab my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as against...
Couldn't lift it, too large.
It already worked out. Like, my arms were just gassed. So as against the idea of like, the singularity and the AI merriment of invading your brain that I am, I would really love a scenario where you could take notes with your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand the against the singularity part. It kind of seems like it's mostly upside.
Well, I mean, I just, it's all the standard basic,
Yeah, there's
mom replies
pitfalls. You could
I
do it
don't want
wrong.
everybody to know what porn I'm looking at.
But just, it's worth the risk.
But I'm telling you, dude, like, so I've told you before, like, I use that, like, that Calm app.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like a basic meditation app. Mm-hmm. And, you can set it for however many minutes that you want, a night. And so I'll pick like 30. And you're definitely not supposed to be doing this while you're listening to it. But, you're listening to it and it's like, just think about the breath. Let's just come back to the breath. And I'll pause it and I'll tell Kristen, like, hey, will you text my phone, Mike Soroy, Metal Bats, Bryson DeChambeau?
It is the tough part about meditation is that, when something good comes up,
what do I do?
Lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, what are we doing this for?
So I would love if we're going to do this, an app.
Kind of flick your eyes up and to the right, and it would pull up an app.
Probably have to be like a circular thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And now we're on the page, and I can just jot down, links, ideas, whatever the case might be. But I really do feel like I remember everything that I was supposed to do right before I go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that experience.
But I also don't want to just every single time grab my phone and be like,
I hate it.
Yeah. Sucks. So, normalize writing with your eyes.
Sharks, I've got an idea. I'm on board. I'll do that. I'll invest in your company.
Thank you. Speaking of sharks, one more quick thing.
Yes.
I saw the last 20 minutes of The Meg the other night.
Okay. I think I saw that whole movie.
Fucking dope.
I think I saw it in theaters.
Mike Soroy, again, the Afro Ninja Mike Soroy, had he had a big, he had a never gonna not like it scenario, right? Mm-hmm. Like where you...
I think that was his Zookeeper.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, game changer.
Yeah.
Dude, it's awesome.
I know, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's so good. And I think I saw the part that matters, right? Like...
I would probably
argue
the
last 20 minutes.
I'd probably argue there's no part that matters.
It's probably right. I could have bit off any 20 minutes and been like, amazing.
Yeah. And I don't think you would have liked it more if you'd seen 30,
You're probably right. Yeah.
But,
right.
I'm glad you got out of it what you got out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Certainly there's plenty going on. You may have seen the president's not on Twitter anymore.
Huge, dude. Huge.
That was most fun. I've just those times whenever the mundane, what is literally the most mundane activity I do. Just fucking, swiping down to see if there's any more new tweets.
I call it a doom scroll.
Whatever. Oh, that's a little term you engineered, huh?
Yeah. Copyright me.
Whenever you can turn that activity into something where I feel wired and alive,
right?
Just to see what my peers have going, to let me know. 4 hours afterwards, John Boyce posted one where he was like, are you guys seeing this? And it was the picture of just at real Donald Trump is suspended. And then he had highlighted Donald Trump and copy and pasted it into Wikipedia and then was highlighting that he's the president.
Yeah, it's tough to square.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't, like, anyone who's trying to take it seriously either way of like, finally they stood up and done their duty, or like this sort of Orwellian authoritarian nightmare must cease. Like, I don't know, fuck all of it, right? Like,
I don't care about that.
yeah, he had another account that he tweeted from immediately. Like, it's not like he was actually silenced in any way. This is purely a symbolic thing. And if you've been really excited for them to do this symbolic thing, then you're a fucking loser. And if you're like, thinking that it means that your freedoms are being infringed because the weird orange man can't tweet, then, you're also probably not a normal person.
Yeah, but I mean, there is something too, like just the general, like the fact that it's a big deal that the person who is, and I know this is, an extremely, basic take, like the fact that the person who is in charge of the country and is in charge of, bomb codes can't fire off a meme.
It's too bad.
Like, but that is funny.
Yeah, no,
like, even if you don't want to like dog whistle it, that is funny.
Oh yeah, no, I thought the fact he got suspended is fucking great. I love it. I'm just saying anyone who treats it with like any seriousness either way is a fucking weirdo.
Oh shoot. I think too, like
Charlie Warzel had one that was like, I wish I was capable of not treating this like the moon landing, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, I suppose. But I think there's a certain type of person who is going to use this as evidence of like, well, look, shouldn't social media companies act right now? Like, isn't this a referendum? I'm like, dude, they literally forced you into this. Like 2 years ago would have been the time.
Yeah.
Like, so you're gonna act now. It's much like McConnell or several, not all, but several of the
it's disappointing
of his own party.
They found the backbone at the time where the stakes are like literally the lowest.
That's not a backbone.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that doesn't count. So fuck Twitter. Fuck Jack. Fuck all these people. Like, that shit doesn't matter. Like,
I think it's a fun website.
Everyone should, remember all of this. Now, we won't. Because, I'll call my own foul. It isn't like I canceled my account over the last 4 years while they were facilitating someone absolutely promoting, violence and
it's just like I don't know,
other negative outcomes.
I don't think the world
platform.
would.
I don't
think the world would change
differently.
if they took his. Like, it's not like I believe that the bulk of his ill effects
5 years
were
ago.
That yeah, dude.
That absolutely would have had an impact. Absolutely.
I don't think it would have lost
If
them an
Facebook
election.
okay, maybe not lost him an election, but it would have negatively impacted his ability to organize negative actors. If 5 years ago, Facebook and Twitter said...
No part of his anything is organized.
Dude, really?
He seems like a pretty disorganized person.
Okay, but the organization like flowed down from him. Like, dude, Justin sent us that
I don't
text
believe things that Justin says. No, I don't know what you're talking about. What? I don't recall the specific.
the zip tie guy.
The what?
The zip tie guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think
But that's not. But
we,
I don't think that. Yeah. So our just we were talking about like how it seemed like most of the people that got into the
definitely
Capitol.
wrong 2 days ago.
The most people
on
got into the
that
Capitol were just kind
small
of like
point.
walking around, like wide eyed, like I can't believe we got in. And he sent us a picture of there's a gentleman who was like I think that in the photo he's like in the middle of like jumping over a barrier.
He is.
And he's got like a thing full of zip ties in his hand that he brought with.
Who are those for?
Yeah, and so that guy was not like wide eyed. I can't believe they got in here. He woke up that morning with a fucking plan, and I'm glad I don't yet know what the plan is. Yeah,
I'll let you guess.
but I don't think that if the president didn't have Twitter, that guy would be like working at a Waffle House with a cheerful disposition.
I disagree.
You think that just the tweets? He was like, well, I read these tweets, so I need to go down and fucking hog tie Congress members.
No, but I think that, and I can't even totally remember where I read this, but somebody was like, Trump is both rabbit and rabbit hole. So he's, living off of and promoting, he's such a self-fulfilling prophecy of conspiracy theories. That's why he has so much power. Soft power, I would say, and then occasionally throughout history, soft power becomes hard power. So I would say if 5 years ago the president was banned from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, are there people in the Capitol with zip ties yesterday? No way. No fucking way.
He would still be the president, dude. Like
But how would it get that out? How would it get out like, hey, meet me here on June 6th and meet me here like...
presidents had rallies before the internet was invented.
Dude, but you know what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is what specifically happened on Wednesday, or it was Wednesday, right? What specifically happened on Wednesday was that he held a rally, an extremely normal thing that politicians have done and been able to organize throughout the entire history of the country.
Not that normal for an outgoing politician to hold a rally, but you're right.
But I'm saying the calling a rally is not something that is that necessitates new media to have happen.
Sure.
And then to the people at that rally, he was like, there's the building, go get it. Like, no part of that needed Twitter to occur. Like, he's the president. If you want, you're talking about the only person who has always been able to command an audience of the entire nation anytime they wanted to. Like, they fucking invented radio so that fucking FDR could address the nation at once. Like, whatever. That is not the actual story of radio. But I'm just saying, like,
close enough.
There are plenty of people where you could change their impact on the world by deleting their Twitter account. And like the president is literally the last person on that list.
Every president before, yes. But if your entire thing is, I'm going to radicalize every single person who stays awake at night with one earbud in, listening to nothing but Joe Rogan, it matters for him. It matters for him, and it obviously materialized.
But I'm like, whenever they deleted it, like he just switched the POTUS account and like kept saying things.
And they'll ban that.
But I mean, like, I don't know. That seems like a weird step. And like, if he the problem here is that like he is a person who has a lot of people's ears that is thinking these crazy things, that is doing the kind of stuff you're talking about, of both being the rabbit in the hole, and he can do that like. Just him being alive is the issue there. Like, not how, like, he could find a way to get that out. Like fucking Owen will put him on wherever he wants. For most of the time, Fox News has put him on anytime he wants. Like, he can get an audience pretty easy. And then, like, Twitter's going to stop every single person who, like, screen caps him saying something crazy on Fox News. Like, I don't know, man. I think that. The issue is the things he thinks and like the way he sees the world and what he wants people to do as a result. And the medium is pretty immaterial to that.
That's because you are viewing this as at the goal line, outcome-based decision. What if we were able to take that team back to the touchback if they had banned that 4 or 5 years ago? We wouldn't feel this way. No politician has ever utilized the internet the way that he has. And if way back then they had been like, fuck this. This person is dangerous, is harmful, is abusing their power, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Well, you know.
I think that
somehow there's
he
a
thinks,
mosquito in here.
He thinks those things, and he was going to find a way to be able to communicate them to other people.
Okay, so what was he going to do?
He could go on Fox News. He could, use any other social media platform.
There's way more people on Facebook than use Fox News.
But people who watch Fox News that want to like grab a clip and put it on Facebook can do that, even if the president himself is personally banned.
That's true, but what message does it send if if you're banned from social media, doesn't that at least chip away at your following of people saying like, well, why would they have banned you? Well, I say it's a lie. Okay, well,
that his people aren't responsive to that.
All right, man. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like the media, the social media companies are fairly complicit in this regard. Complicit in this regard, and I think that what they're doing now is incredibly opportunistic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways in which they have influence and a lot of people where they could shut them down if they wanted to. Alex Jones still puts on a show. It's not like he's resorted to begging for food. Right. So I don't even know how much but I bet that had a pretty real impact on his life.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think that the position he's in, the position of the president, are night and day different.
Maybe he doesn't get elected.
I mean, that's the only point at which you could say that it's a real inflection point. But as I established earlier, I don't believe that that's true.
And
I mean, it was a pretty close election. A lot of things could tip it. But I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to prove it either way.
It's weird too. Like even as you say that, because I know that like I spend way too much time thinking about all right, what's the future gonna be like, man? But I don't spend all that much time thinking about what would the past have been like? And, we were tens of thousands of people, which is a small number in a country of almost 300 million. Or are we over now? Have we had a big...
I think it's 330.
Breakthrough?
That's what I read in the popular book, 1 Billion Americans.
How much different do you think it would be if she would have won?
I don't know. Probably a lot
obviously
different.
There's no Bernie resurgence,
Yeah, I mean, it's less. But I think that he was... I think he might have had a bigger role in government if she won. Because Democrats would have had a larger place. And I mean, you see now that they've got the Senate, he's going to be the budget committee chairman.
Right, and they have
Whenever he did super well in the Democrat... whenever he finished second in the Democratic primary, the party...
How'd that happen?
Well, I mean, that primary occurred anyways, right?
Yeah.
It's not her. I think that whether plenty of them grumbled about it, but he became part of Senate Democratic leadership immediately after that. So I kind of wonder if he would have actually had a larger effective voice in government if it were the case. Because I guess it's, what do you want to say? Does the fact that she won mean that they keep control of the Senate so that he then has a larger role, or is he just where he was, where he's a larger part of the minority party in the chamber?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
I think about it from time to time.
Probably better.
Not enough, but I think about it from time to time. And
I don't want to think about it at all.
We talked about it on Wednesday, but I was extremely fired up to talk about the fact that the Nashville bomber is a reptilian guy, and we just got nothing out of that. We barely we brushed past it. And look, Buzz. Nothing on Bean Dad.
I mean, you don't
Like,
have
it's been
anything
a
you want to
whole
say
day
about
on
Bean Dad
Bean Dad.
anyways.
Huh?
There's nothing you want to say about Bean Dad anyways. That didn't seem like one that would like really capture your imagination.
I mean, I was mad at him.
Yeah, he seems like a dick,
Yeah.
which is too bad because he's made some beautiful music.
Has he? Have you listened to it?
Yeah. There's a Long Winter song that I like a lot. It's the popular one that everyone knows. Commander
the band.
Thinks Aloud.
Long Winter.
Yeah, Long Winters. I just kind of glanced at the Bean Dad thing, but the only thing I saw was someone being like, "Whoa, is the Long Winters guy?"
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a friend who shall remain nameless.
Yeah, I mean, I just would have told her how to open the beans.
And like maybe teacher.
Yeah.
It just seems like a pretty obvious, like, here's how you do this. So then next time around, if you want me to do it for you, I'll be like, hey, remember whenever we talked about this?
And then I'll do it for you anyways.
I'll do it for you,
will.
but I might have you try.
Yeah,
I
think that any time, like, I think that one of my big parenting, like, foundational beliefs is that whenever people start adding too many steps, like, everyone, I believe, is for the most part coming out with the goal of, like, I want to do the thing that I think is going to help the kid the most.
Yeah.
But whenever you're trying to figure that out, whenever you're doing 20 steps is like, well, if I show this to her now, then she's not going to know this and this and that, you know, and in 20 years, she's not going to be able to open this can. Like, I just feel like that calculus, you could make, like, the more steps you're adding, the more chance it is that you're just fucking wrong. You know, like, you're off base about your predictions somewhere along the line. Whereas I know that if my kid gets these beans pretty quickly, they're going to be feeling pretty good. So let's just take these easy, quick wins.
Yeah, and I mean, huge bean guy. Love beans.
Were you the one that
all types.
the Twitter user saw in the theater?
No, I was not this blank eating beans guy.
Oh,
but
okay.
could have been.
Have you ever eaten beans in a theater?
No, but
Surely a member of your family has after your dad brought a pork chop and a Hawaiian roll.
yeah, no, I've seen my dad eat meat in a movie theater. The fuck is going on over there?
Yeah, no worries. GoPro, start recording. It listens to me.
What in the shit was that?
I mean, you know, it's voice activated like your phone is.
Love beans, big bean guy. But no, I mean, the idea of, like, I want to beat that dude up.
Okay.
And I mean, is there any doubt I could do it? No doubt.
I don't know. Yeah, you probably could.
No
I
doubt.
feel good about it.
That's
You're younger than him.
that's a shithead move. And the concept of, I don't even care, try to come out afterward and say, like, oh, I ate breakfast beforehand and we had a bunch of nuts, you know, in between us. Like, we were eating a bowl. I mean, dude, fuck you.
Did he say that afterwards or something?
He issued an apology.
Where he explained that they had eaten nuts?
Yeah, pistachios, or do you say pistachio or pistachio?
I say pistachio.
Okay, I'm going to start saying that because I got made fun of today on the Crow Line.
Oh, I'm
saying
sorry.
Pistachio. No. I just want to know the right way to say it.
I mean, I don't know that I'm right.
Pistachios.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of those where I say it differently every time I say it.
Yeah.
I
Consistent
don't really
pronunciations
don't have a
are
great feel for it.
challenging.
But, dude, like, what in the world are you doing? Like, you're really going to make your daughter struggle ever? Like,
What do you mean?
ever? Like, to eat?
Yeah, like
Like-
you won't just fix some beans for her?
Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Wasn't she like 9 or something?
9.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you should be able to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
So that is his position.
Like, and I suppose there is like, something to, like, let's see if you can discover the, utility of this. And because if you look at a can opener, it's not exactly like the most presentable tool you've ever seen. It doesn't make any sense.
I'd go 1 for 5 on opening that bean can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So why would she know that? It's
Yeah.
not a plug. It's not a, it doesn't have like an A to B, function to it. So because she can't figure that out, you're going to be a dick about this. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, and it's
put
just,
your teeth on that curb.
It's triggering for me for sure. Because I just,
a rare case where you and I are in a parenting agreement.
There's so many things like that where like, just watching like the Baroque justifications that he has unfolded in front of himself for why this is normal behavior.
Isn't
and in
that
fact,
the first
beneficial.
way to know you're wrong?
But like, it's just like, this is a disorder that you have. Like, this is something that is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much of this stuff about parenting where, like, you listen to the parent's explanation, like, and it's long and, like, it sounds like it makes sense, I guess. I mean, clearly you put a lot of thought into it. And, like, it ultimately just boils down to, like, they have these insecurities. They have these things about them that are broken. And, like, they're inflicting them upon their children. And, like, whatever. We all do that. It's inevitable.
I'm trying to do only one thing not. I'm trying to not do one thing only. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, I also am. I'm going to fail at some point, like that's like, I don't know a single person who didn't have their parents do, like in some way imprint some negative things about them. I mean, like,
sure.
The best you can hope for is not to do it that much, like there's no, dude, there's no one that doesn't get out of this without like passing on some part of themselves that
no, but that's
upon
not what
reflection
you said.
They'd rather not.
If you're picking the worst thing or the thing that you felt the most aggrieved by, I do think there's a lot of people, and I do think it's entirely attainable to say that's the one thing I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying like just, I don't mean like your most negative quality. I just mean like you have a lot of negative qualities. We all have a lot of negative qualities. Those, affect the way that we see the world. We pass that worldview on to the children. They end up with those negative qualities. Like, anyone thinking of their parents, if they know their grandparents well, can probably see how this has worked at some point.
For sure.
I certainly can.
Sure.
And
I'm not going to hit my kid.
yeah.
Despite my 10-year ago, proclamation that sometimes kids might need to be hit.
I did have to reset the days counter not too long ago, I remember. But now I'm taking it down triumphantly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
This is great news. It's a day of celebration in my book.
No, huge.
But yeah, like, and it's just, it's that guy's like. Now I'm imprinting some of me on, but like a quality that I have that I don't like it, but like at this point I don't even judge myself for it because I know I can't outrun it. Like it's so fucking deeply imprinted that like I want to show people how much I know about something at all times. Like I need to display the maximum amount of knowledge that is in my brain. Like, whether it like fucking makes sense in the conversation or not, I'm just fucking sliding it in there. And so like he's, probably I guess feeling like a big man because he knows how the can opener works and like isn't just gonna fucking give away the secret for free.
Right.
Like that seems like an ego insecurity thing. And rather than being like, well, I'm a fragile person, as we all are. So I had this experience with my daughter that I regret. He's instead like, so you got check out what I did, guys. I had all these good reasons to do this weird ass thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think that's kind of what I was sort of starting to get to earlier before I leaned into the personal aspect of it was just, I saw a couple people, one friend in particular that was like, this is just woke, woke culture. Going for this guy, and I'm like, bro, listen, here's the deal. Anybody who posts a 50 tweet thread, I think it might have been 23.
Yeah.
So anybody who posts a more than 3 tweet thread and gets judged harshly, fuck him and feed him fish heads.
Yeah,
that's the outcome,
it's not
bro.
Woke culture. That's
like that's it. Like if you want
your
attention,
ass gonna get smacked, and you got smacked.
You might get attention.
Yeah,
might go poorly for you.
Yeah,
and I think the reactionary culture like does that a lot. like the whole like, oh, why are people being so judgmental of this person? I'm like, look, the only reason we know about this
Because they were begging to be judged.
is because they were begging to be judged.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so if you beg to be judged, like, don't get
yeah.
mad if I don't know.
You could have had that interaction, just kept it yourself pretty easily.
Probably like, and that's the first thing. I almost think Dan was like mad that I did that story.
The Bean Dad story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, why are we talking about this? I was like, I don't know. People are.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny, so I thought we would do it. But I could tell he was like viscerally upset with the general idea that anybody knew what this was.
It's obnoxious that guy like thought that interaction needed to be shared publicly because it's so boring.
Of course.
Yeah.
And because it deserved to be judged, and then it, was judged. What are we doing next?
Well, I'd still like to talk more about capital. I'm not done talking about capital stuff. Just the dynamic like of Donald Trump getting kicked off Twitter, of House leadership showing more vigor for impeaching him than they have at any other point. I saw that one of the lawyers who defended him against impeachment last time was like, well, that one seemed weird, but this one's pretty straightforward. And I don't think that's like a different changing in circumstances. I just think it's like before people felt like, boy, but what if he wins re-election? Like he could really fuck me up if I go against him this time. And now they're like, whatever. But I think that another dynamic that's at play here that I wanted to talk about is I might have told this story on the podcast before. Certainly told it plenty of times in my life. Just because I think it is, illustrative of a dynamic that is at work in humans, and I'm not like real proud of how I conducted myself here. I look back, I clearly did some shithead things, but so whenever I was studying abroad, I had two roommates, and there was a night where I was trying to get to sleep, and they wanted to watch a movie in the room, and there was a common area where they could have watched the movie. I think one of them was going to like set it up on their computer. We did not have a TV, but he was going to like play the computer in the middle of the room, top volume and all that.
I was trying to make myself seem like I had a broke boy travel situation. Well,
I was able to match you in this instance. We did have a computer between the three of us, so I don't know if that. So they're setting up this computer, and I'm like, guys, I'm tired. I would like to sleep. And there was one of them that really, really wanted to watch this movie, and the other one who was kind of on the fence, but had walked in being like, well, I do want to watch this movie. And so, I kind of know, and I mean, like all this is happening. So it's more like sensing rather than thinking, you know what I mean? It's not like the words crystallize in my head of anything, but like, just, you got a feeling that, you've got this person on the fence that basically if I can swing him to my side, then I get what I want. I think the both of them were lightly drunk. And the one guy that really wanted the movie was in general a pretty volatile guy. And so again, without really I think it would be disingenuous to claim that I was like thinking this through, but I had a feeling, and like my actions my brain pushed my actions in this direction where I was kind of like, he seems like he'd go off pretty easy. If I just piss him off about this thing, he's probably going to get aggressive, and then I'm going to look more sympathetic, and the guy in the middle is going to be like, well, I don't want to be on the side of the guy that's hitting people. And that's exactly what happened. I fucking, was like insistent enough about it, was like escalating with tone of like, no, dude, don't watch the fucking movie. And I knew if I said that enough times in a certain tone that it was like an open hand, like kind of the base of his heel, just like to my head a couple times.
Oh, okay. And, first time you ever got hit?
No.
Daniel.
But almost universally in these kinds of situations, like, whenever I was a kid and I was fighting with my parents, like this would occasionally be like a tactic of like, I bet the dad wouldn't feel so great about the opinions he was making if he was mixing that with the shame that he had just fucking struck his son. So let's see if we can't get there.
You're such an asshole.
I know. That's what I said. I mean, whatever. The most recent example of this behavior is the one I'm giving you, and it happened 12 years ago. So, or more than that, right? It was 2006. So,
way more than 12, yeah.
14 coming on 15 years ago.
Yeah. You're changed.
I mean, I haven't done it in a while. I could say that.
Not like to this degree.
And I don't think that there's anyone who's playing me in this scenario where like they're attempting to push the other side to do something too far so that public opinion snaps back against them. But I think that that dynamic has occurred. Like the thing that I'm observing that I was aiming for, that like if you can get someone to do something that's too aggressive, that clearly crosses a line for everyone else, then you're going to be able to like, isolate them over there and you're going to win the argument. So like, I think that like these people just stepped way beyond what like, whatever median person, I think that a lot of what's going on is that Donald Trump lost the election. And so people are willing to speak out against him based on that. But like, I mean, fucking Betsy DeVos resigned, dude. Like, she said it was too much for her. Like, I know, whatever. If I see her burning, I will not piss on her now. I wouldn't have then.
I will disavow myself from that comment.
Okay.
I want to be very clear.
But I would just say, like, you can see a lot of evidence where people are like looking in horror and being like, Jesus Christ, they came to this. And, I think that is a powerful force. Like whenever you're forced to like reckon, like, forced to like, you either have a choice as like whenever you're someone who is broadly sympathetic of the kinds of people that are breaking into the Capitol, but are not personally one of the people who's breaking into the Capitol, you then forced with a choice of like, do I want to like figure out a way to defend this, or do I want to disavow it? And, that's like what my buddy that wasn't sure if he wanted to watch the movie was in, and so I made him do something where like, I made the other guy do something where I knew my buddy would not want to defend it and would want to disavow it. And I think that they've done something that like, was sufficiently over the line that there's a surprising number of people who are like, yeah, I don't know if I could defend it. I mean, fucking Crenshaw's on there, like, the guy that we just watched in that ad, punching Antifa through a windshield is like, I think it's really messed up that they've lied to the American people and told them this election's fraudulent. Like, shut the fuck up. But I'm just saying, like, that's where he is on it after this. It's an amazing event in American history.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you feel like, some of those recusals are a bit hollow?
Oh, yeah, all of them, of course.
All is really more what I meant to say.
Yeah, but like, I don't think we're going to get them, even like these otherwise. Like Betsy DeVos isn't going to resign just like for shits and gigs if he didn't hold a rally where he told everyone, go sick 'em. And man, I'm sure that you've gone through this.
Sorry, Baylor.
Whatever. I'm sure you've had your own journey, and I would love for you to share your stories. But like, the more you see the details about this stuff, like the New York Times published, just like I think they had 3 employees who were in the Capitol and just told all 3 of them, like, to just go first person, tell us what happened. One of them was a female photographer who was in the gallery, I think, of like the floor of the house. And, just said she was like trying to, kind of document at some distance, and much faster than she realized was surrounded by 3 dudes who were like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing? Like snatched her press pass off her neck, saw that she was New York Times, like pushed her over. She's fucking screaming help. Like no one's doing anything. They're fucking breaking her cameras and throwing down her shit, and then walk off with her press pass so that like, 20 minutes later, police are coming by her and she's like, I'm press. And they're like, where's your pass? And she's like, some guys took it. And they're like, fucking get on the ground. They fucking drew down on her because she didn't have the pass. And whenever you're seeing the image of them like bouncing through the statue hall, it's kind of like, and did you see like there's another video of a lot of them like exiting. Where just someone had like a camera trained on the door where they were coming out, and all of them are like laughing and joking and being like, haha, we're gonna come back with more. You know, it's just all a bunch of like fucking lucky my friend was here, dude, or else I would have kicked your ass. Like, you know, just a lot of light stuff. And I mean, like, I would not say that I like viewed the whole thing. I mean, it's not like my comments on Wednesday indicate that I thought that the event in general was light stuff. But the more detail, like the fact that there's, I believe, 5 people now dead seems to really underplay how absolutely frightening. Like the video of the woman who did get shot, like that entire scene, that is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like I for one, I didn't know that they got that close to actual Congress people.
Yeah.
Like that's why the guy on the other side of the door is drawn down, because they are right fucking there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What was the part that you were interested in my experience on? Like,
just what like those are the stories that to me brought it to life. I would assume that I did not see all of the stories that were possible to brought it to life. I didn't know if there were any anecdotes that you had absorbed that really kind of drove it home for you.
No, I mean, I would say it's no different than what you said. I mean, I think I hate to keep doing this, just every single time it feels like there's like a large scale political or social event. Like it's very easy to be like, but what if it were a group of black people?
Yeah.
And it's just, we can do it time and time and time and time again. And I don't think that's anywhere near going away. That feels as, I mean, I don't know, dude. That's not going to stop in our lifetime.
Yeah, tough to imagine it's not a permanent feature of our civilization.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that we should accept it. I think it's unacceptable. And again, I would like for Black Lives Matter protesters to be treated, closer to how these protesters were treated than how they currently are.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they'd like to fucking draw down on them. Yeah. Okay. You're right.
No, but I mean, some people listen to one, don't listen to the other, and I think your general idea that police should treat people, in a nonviolent manner, regardless of the aims of their.
I think there would have been a lot more deaths if they had treated these people like Black Lives Matter protesters.
I don't think that's that hot of an opinion.
Yeah, but so then it's good that they treated them this way. You know what I mean? Like I would have liked a situation where there was no loss of life.
Yeah.
And like period. And that we also like didn't allow fucking randos into the capital of the government, the country where we live. Like, because I was talking about how that as you go along, things kind of like it. My point about how it's not going to seem as crazy to future generations because it's that feeling of uncertainty is what makes it crazy of like, I don't know what's going to happen next. And now they're going to know in retrospect what did happen next. And that certainly is true. But like the further I get away from it and like think about it more, like there's still so much next that could occur. Like they took laptops, and like, maybe it was just fucking people wandering through and like thought it'd be cool to have a laptop.
Right.
Or maybe it was the fucking dude with zip ties, like wants that information for some specific purpose and he's got some other fucking terrorist plan he's going to come up with because of that. Like who knows how many, like if you're a foreign government that doesn't like us, why the fuck wouldn't you just keep someone on standby in DC at all times where it's like, hey, it looks like it's popping off. Go put on a MAGA hat, fucking walk around in there, see what you can see. Like, and I don't know how that affects me. I can't really draw a one-to-one there. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But like, I don't know. For a time, anyone who wanted to could walk into the main building of our government. Like that's got a lot of implications that could, still reverberate. Yeah.
So, I think the first thing I would say is that, I don't think the biggest thing that happened was that they were able to access, laptops. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't. And this is why I actually think that, the Nashville attack, that might end up being something that you look back at that had like a way bigger effect than this. I really do think that's possible because I think whenever people realize
Yeah, I don't know.
that it's absolutely possible to knock out 911 across a multiple state swath with a very, very simple bomb.
It's insane that like that appears to have happened just by act. Like, is there any proof that he even like wanted to target? Like,
Well, we talked about this the other day, right? Like, I don't know that there's any proof as far as like that downtown building, but
there's definitely no proof he had like a step two. Like he was in the
but
RV.
the outcome happened.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
So people
is that,
can
like,
look back and see. Yeah,
I mean,
I get what you're saying.
you can beef up Capitol security and keep this from happening.
But you can't make it so that there are no switchboards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think like, and not to keep like spinning back to that event, but I don't know, dude. I really think that one's going to end up being like, we're going to think back to that one and be like, holy shit. Like, how did we not know, like, when that happened? That
Yeah, and I wonder.
And then, the weird thing is, too, like...
Because I think you're right that a lot of people saw that and then the wheels started spinning. But on the other hand, if I said, like, you think terrorists didn't know before that we had cell towers?
Sure.
So I don't know.
And that those buildings were housed in a easily, like, searchable, place. Like, it's... Yeah.
I mean, I know where some are.
Right. Like, but sometimes it's like, you just need somebody to do something before you're like, shit, I could do that too.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like, it's kind of weird in the sense that both happen within like 6 days of each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, yeah, like maybe you marry the two together. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to be like, just thinking negatively, about life, like all the time. I have enough, as you well know, as my best friend, like you know full well how much time I spend thinking about the worst possible outcomes. But it's really, really hard for me not to come away from the last, like, I don't know, 3 months and not be like, dude, like, this is not going to get better. And, like, there's one guy in particular who just chirps me on Twitter all day. I very seriously doubt that he listens to the podcast because otherwise he would know, like, the context of what we do. Like, I think he probably just follows me on Twitter. He's a P1. And he's just like, oh, you normalize Trump. Like, you still think he's funny? You still think he's funny? And like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be very clear about that. Like, he's fucking hilarious.
If you don't believe me, give me a sec.
But he's hilarious because everything that happened leading up to him was in such a contained, I don't want to say box, but it was just like everything that led up to him was so predictable and so like, all right, this is the way that we do this. So if you ask the question, like, do I feel bad about the way that we've handled this? I don't feel bad about it at all. Like
how you and I have?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel fine.
Because to me, what's funny about him is we're using him almost like to poke fun at like this entire situation.
Yeah.
And this situation meaning how broken the American government is. And it's really not like how broken the American government is.
Just anyone who says things like the guy...
The America that I think he just poured salt or peroxide in the wound that is something that was already very, very open and very, very available.
Yeah, the basic problem is there's too much hate towards our fellow man and not enough love. And like Donald Trump didn't make that. He reflects that.
Right.
And,
and he does it in a way that sounds like Andrew Dice Clay.
I don't
Yeah.
think that we take lightly that first problem at all. And I think that some part of the project here is to do in whatever way that we think we can. I don't think that anyone feels like they're real confident they can solve that one with one quick action or anything. But yeah, I don't know. The one final thing I wanted to say about the capital takeover business is when I was reflecting on what we said on Wednesday, I think that there is something to loss of status as a motivating factor for people like this. But I think that I was dismayed with myself how much I presented that as like the only explanation. I just feel like I kind of got swept up in a lot of people who are saying similar things on Twitter who are people that I don't necessarily agree with or want to outsource my thinking to. And I would say that one factor that I think is pretty big that I would just like to talk about more. You got it's so many fucking annoying idiots that are like, you see, man, it's these far right and far left. They're both just like going crazy in the streets, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And miss me with that, but I do think that the sheer amount of strip away there's stated reasons for being there. You just have to look at how many people in streets we have had in the last year.
Yeah.
And that ought to mean something to us. And I think that it means that we have a government that is not responsive to the concerns of its citizens, that is not
Sure.
providing for people in a way that they feel like they can have the sort of full life that they were intending to have. And as an example, if instead of the wealth created by Amazon going exclusively to Jeff Bezos, and instead there was a Amazon warehouse or multiple Amazon warehouses in every city in America where if you wanted to, you could go down there and the wealth would be shared in a more equitable fashion. And you could work hard for 40 hours a week and walk home with $80,000. And, not for 1 week. I'm talking about a yearly salary. But that seems like something, I haven't done the math. I'm pretty sure Amazon could afford it.
Why don't we just leave it at you can feed your family?
Yeah. Just, feed your family, live comfortably, have a secure life. Then, how many people then are going to be left over that are going to want to be marching and demonstrating about anything? Mm-hmm. So I think that's just such a huge part of it is the reason why that these were, whites who look like they do storming the Capitol instead of, another aggrieved group is the loss of status stuff. But the fact that we just have so many people out there, saying that what they're receiving is not good enough, is because it's not. It's because we do not share the wealth of our country equally.
Right.
The fact that we're going to have a trillionaire while having the level of unemployment that we currently do, and whatever, that's because of the pandemic, but also it's because of the choices we've made in response to the pandemic. If we made it so that we're sending out $2,000 checks to every person every month since it started, then we wouldn't have that kind of, I guess we'd probably still have the same unemployment. It would depend on exactly how you structure the program, because you could just call that salary at your job or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. I'm saying we have the resources to provide for the people, and if we were doing so, then they probably wouldn't be so unrestful.
Yeah, no, I think that that goes back to, in 2016, all of the partially hackneyed analysis of, is this about race or is this about the economy, right? And then on into 2020, where it's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Why do we have to figure out which one of these two things it is? All I know is there's a bunch of people who are not having a good time.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people who are having a bad time in, one of, if not the most wealthy nation in the history of humanity, then it's just odd to me that it doesn't strike more people as something that should be addressed.
Yeah.
Because we're through the holidays, so you don't have to do this.
I do love the holidays.
For like 11 months, but it's odd
Can't get here soon enough.
It's odd to me that you could sit down, at Thanksgiving or at Christmas and ask, your parents or your grandparents or aunt and uncle or your cousins, whoever, and they might work, however hard they work, and like ask them, like, does it not seem weird to you how many poor people there are in this country? Like, how does that not occur to you? Like, how do you not ever stop and think, like, boy, it's a bit weird how many poor people we have?
I mean, I think that most people don't. And like, it always frustrates me the degree to which the people don't recognize that as a decision that's been made. Like homeless people, especially. Like, dude, our previous mayor, Mike Rawlings, would always give quotes of like, I would do anything to end homelessness. It's like, well, then just spend your personal wealth to build them houses.
Yeah, and again,
the problem is they don't have houses. This is a really like,
and again,
yeah.
No, well, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that, like, I want to give all of but the money that I could. Dude, it's a Fargo clip that I play for you and Machine and Josh and KJ a million times. The rich man, has something to give, and then he gives it, and it's
I've rewatched it recently.
So I mean, I don't want to be poor. Because I don't want anybody else to be poor. Like, I get that, but
on a society level, we don't have to go poor to make enough houses for everyone to be able to live in. We just have to give up like a slight little tiny bit.
And I also think there is something too, and I think you and I disagree on this to an extent. Like, I do think there is, or should be, there definitely currently is, but maybe there should be less incentive for being willing to work more than other people. Like, I think if you want to work more than other people, you should have more income.
Yeah, I don't stand in opposition to that.
Well, I think I've generally...
I would just say that the people who don't feel like working at all, I'd like to provide for them too.
Yeah.
But really, I don't think that is how most people are.
And I would pay like way more taxes. And that's sort of the funny thing about whenever somebody tries to like test me on Twitter.
I mean, I don't think there's anyone who believes really part of the problem is that the wealth is not distributed according to how much you want to work. It's distributed according to like what your fucking last name is and what fucking copper mines your great grandfather had rights to.
Oh, don't even get me started on these Elon Musk bootstrap articles.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Do you guys
the
not
guy
have
who
even
grew
like
up with the fucking
Wikipedia?
South African compound?
Bro, his dad had an emerald.
Yeah.
A literal jewel. Like, what are we talking about? I think you should...
Self-made jewel heiress.
I think...
Heir, I guess. He's not a woman.
There you go. I think, my general philosophy, and I don't even know how we got to like, we're just going to use this as like a set piece for positioning statements. But I guess I just think like, if you're sick... if your dad's sick, if your mom's sick, if your son's sick, if you don't want to work today, like whatever, I don't think you should die.
Yeah, no.
Now, I don't think you should be able to have like a great life.
Yeah, I'm okay if you have a great life.
Well, I suppose that also depends on how you define great life. I don't think you should be able to like, have the same life that I do.
Have a penthouse suite.
Like, I want to wake up at 5 every day, and I want to work until 10, and I want to have the moments that I get to have with my daughter while she's awake. But like, if I'm going to be cursed with this thing that I have, which is like massive fucking anxiety that every single moment of my life has to be like, converted into some sort of value, then I don't think somebody who does nothing should have the same amount of resources. I want something for that.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't think there's anyone who's not with you on that. I mean, I don't know, whatever. But
I think that there is, but I also think that whenever you say that there's no one who thinks that fill in the blank, I think you're always wrong. Sure,
yeah, but I mean, just assume that I said nearly no one, and we'll get there.
Because I've heard a lot of people say, like, I think 99% of people are against what happened at the Capitol, the other day. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think like there was a
But it's probably like
Newsweek poll. There was like 45% of Republicans thought what happened at the Capitol on Wednesday was like.
Yeah, but then roughly 75% of people were against it, if that's the case. Well, I mean, I guess you still got the odd Democrats who thought it was fine.
Bro, but that's still a huge amount of people. Like if we're talking about a quarter of the country.
Yeah, I understand.
That's way more significant than if I was just like, I don't know, it might have been 1% of people. Like that's a lot of people. I don't know. I just.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, like my most radical proposal is I would like to see marginal income tax of like 90% on every dollar over 250,000. And
Sure.
that would still give people who worked harder more. Even people, yeah.
I think, without saying too much, I think second homes should be taxed into the fucking moon.
Yeah.
I think, there are also like credits that should exist. Adoption probably. And I know that there are some programs for that, but I don't know. I guess I would just say like in general, I would prefer a more humanitarian, tax code, and that's not how it feels in any sense of the word. But I'm gonna make you watch this.
Well, I don't know. I forgot about that. Do we gotta watch? Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay, you have to.
But I mean, we also have these Trump audio cuts. We've been going for a while. We can't play 10 of them. I've got 10 of them. We can't play 10 of them. The first one's 4 minutes, and so I'm saying that's out. I'm eliminating the first one.
All right.
I don't even want you to read the labels. I just want you to give me a number 1 through 10. And that's going to determine what we listen to of Trump's call with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brian Raffensperger. Is that what his name was? Brad. It was Brad.
I like the guy whose last name is Germany, because at one point Trump's like, cool last name.
It is a good last name.
Yeah.
You're I've heard you've been very difficult to work with. I'm sure you're a good lawyer. Good last name.
Just play whatever.
Like, what do you make of that, dude?
Thought it was about to be anti-Semitic.
Like,
if I'm being honest.
But I mean, like,
I was like, oh God, who's he talking to? Please, God, no.
But the guy's last name is Germany.
That's not the same.
I know, I think Joe Montana has a cool last name.
Oh,
anyone who has a last name that is a proper place, that's a cool last name regardless. So I'm willing to think that he's that.
What if your name was Jim Connecticut?
I think that's fucking great. I would love to be Jim Connecticut.
I recant my statement. That's a great name.
But so see, I'm willing to give him some slack, but it's like you got to raise the eyebrows a little bit when he's like, "Oh, I hate everything about you and hate what you're doing to my cause." But the mention of Germany does stir something in me. Just spit out a number between 2 and 10. Your favorite number.
6.
It's a 6. Okay.
No, Dominion is not moved any machinery out of Fulton County. We're having
but have they moved? Have they moved the inner parts of the machines and replaced them with other parts?
No.
You sure, Ryan?
I'm sure, Mr. President.
And what about the ballots? The shredding of the ballots. Have they been shredding ballots?
I just love his fucking the intonation of this entire part. What about the ballot? Are they shredding ballots? You tell me honestly now, Ryan.
No.
No. The only investigation that we have into that, they have not been shredding any ballots. There was an issue in Cobb County where they were doing normal, office shredding, getting rid of old stuff, and we investigated that. But this is stuff from past elections.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what
I don't know.
It doesn't pass the smell test, though, because we hear they're shredding thousands and thousands of ballots. And now what they're saying, we're just cleaning up the office. I don't think that plays.
Mr. President, the problem you have with social media, people can say anything.
No, this isn't social media. This is Trump media. It's really not. It's not social media. I don't care about social media.
It's not social
media.
media.
Social media is big tech. Big tech is on your side. You know, I don't even know why you have a side, because you should want to have an accurate election. And you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have. You don't have. Not even
Punk
close.
Just the way he's ping ponging in that last little part where they're like, don't believe everything on social media, and he's like, social media, that's well, first of all, it's Trump media, but that's big tech.
Big tech.
Big tech is on your side. No, and you shouldn't have a side. Like, no one said anything. Like, it's not like Brad Raffensperger was like, sir, I'd like to talk about what side I'm on. He's like, big tech is on your side. I don't know what big tech is on. Like, I tried to figure out like what's echoing in his brain when he hears that. The best I could come up with is Nationwide is on your side, but I don't think that's it. But like, it seems like he's referring to a slogan from like the 70s that I'm not old enough to know. But whatever, because he's like, social media, that's big tech. Big tech is on your side.
Big
Speaking
tech.
of which, you shouldn't have a side. You should be on my side.
Big tech. I don't know why you have a side. We don't have a side. You're Republicans, though. Dude.
We just want to have a good election. Well, you don't. You know what I think of that election?
Dude. As the official podcast of Quicksand, I gotta say, every single time I heard him retort to anything they had to say in this entire hour call, it just sounded like someone like drowning in quicksand to me.
It was amazing from start to finish. It was, I mean,
they're like,
that was 1 of 10. I'm telling you, the rest of these 9, if we had time for them, all that good. 10 bangers.
Like somebody's like, no, and he's like, no, okay, yeah, I'm sure it's no.
I believe you.
I'm sure it's no. And then there's also,
you do have the last name, but and just the amount of it that sounded.
Play one more. Pick your favorite.
I don't have a favorite. You got to give me another number.
Let's go with 9.
Go with 9.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes, fellas. I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
I just kept on thinking about the
what a winner I am.
the meme, like just the the specific, like, this is a whole separate thing. But I watched a listener recommended to me the American Experience episode on Ruby Ridge, which is amazing.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We will. Not today. And so it's got a couple early in life pictures of Vicki Weaver, like whenever she's getting married or whatever. And so I've just been in my head imagining posting that with fellas, would we smash? Someone was like, there was a sunset where someone was like, yo, I'm not gay, but this sunset's good. and someone quotes you with, fellas, is it gay to observe the changing of the planet? Like,
fellas, come on. It's 11,000.
It's such a beautiful meme format, and he plays right into it.
Back it up all the way.
I only need 11,000 votes, fellas. I need 11,000
votes.
Fellas, am I the president or am I not? Fellas,
11,000.
Or we can keep it going, but that's not fair to the voters of Georgia, because they're going to see what happened. And they're going to see what happened. I mean, I'll take on anybody you want with regard to and her lovely daughter. A very lovely young lady, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I will take on anybody you want. And the minimum, there were 18,000 ballots, but they used them 3 times. So that's, a lot of votes.
Hard to say exactly how many.
And they were all to Biden, by the way. That's the other thing we didn't say.
54?
One thing I forgot to say, which was the most important. Do you know that every single ballot she did went to Biden? You know that, right? Do you know that, by the way, Brett? Every single ballot that she did through the machine at early in the morning went to Biden. Did you know that, Ryan?
That's not accurate, Mr. President.
Huh. What is accurate?
Great question.
The numbers that we are showing are accurate.
About early in the morning, Ryan, when the woman took when the whole gang took the stuff from under the table, right? Do you know do you know who those ballots? Do you know who they were made out to? Do you know who they were voting for?
I got to guess.
No, not specifically.
Did you ever check?
We did what I described to you earlier.
No. Did you ever check the ballots?
No.
You know what you got to say, Brian.
A known political operative balloteer. Did you ever check who those votes were for?
Balloteer.
We've looked into that situation that you described.
No, they were 100% for Biden.
He just wanted to say that anyways.
100%. There wasn't a Trump vote in the whole group. Why don't you want to find this, Ryan? What's wrong with you? I heard your lawyer is very difficult, actually, but I'm sure you're a good lawyer.
No, you laughed over it.
It's very difficult, actually, but I'm sure you're a good lawyer. You have a nice last name.
There it is.
I'm just curious.
All right,
Why
man.
why do you keep fighting this thing? It just doesn't make sense.
It's just that why do you keep
Dude,
fighting this
I
thing?
just don't like hearing him like that. We can save this.
Okay. We'll do this on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
It's just it's a very disappointing development, but
We can do it now if you want.
no, because I'm about to pee my pants.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back Tuesday with this video of a woman with a phone.
And I won't have to pee.
Okay.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow, for everyone who's been a part of this one,
I'm TC and Jake.
we do thank you for watching. Good night.